Hello folks, and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. My name is Sean, and tonight we'll be doing the second round of What Can Blantons Beat? Tonight it'll be going up against 5 other different single barrels in the similar price range. So, is Blanton's king of the single barrels? Let's find out. Okay folks, here is our lineup for tonight. A collection of 6 different single barrels. Of course, we got Kentucky Spirit from Wild Turkey. We have Blanton's from Buffalo Trace. We have Henry McKenna 10-year Bottle and Bond from Heaven Hill. We have Jack Daniel's Single Barrel, of course, from Jack Daniel's. We have 1792 Single Barrel from 1792 Barton. And of course, Old Forester Single Barrel from Old Forester. So, it'll be curious to see how these all pan out, who will come out on top. I don't necessarily have a favorite in this. And the reason for that is because I feel like single barrels are, I don't know, it's not really my thing. I like a consistently good product, and single barrels can be all over the place, and they seem to go for very mellow, kind of middle of the road, appeal to the masses kind of profiles. I like things that are a little more interesting generally, a little more bite, a little more punch. And you might be wondering why I'm all dressed up, and it's because of all the things I just said. All single barrels kind of feel a little bit bougie or nose in the air, kind of stuck up, high society. I don't know. They kind of give that air to me, so I figure why not just go with it. So got my fancy cowboy hat, got a vest on and a dress shirt and some cufflinks, so let's do this thing. Let's go ahead and get these poured. Kentucky Spirit going to be going in glass A here. Here we go. Blanton's will be going in glass B. Nice tight cork there. That's good. No air getting in our glasses unnecessarily. Glass C will be Henry McKenna. And of course, I didn't show B, I don't think, but you know that's B. So C, Henry McKenna. Glass D will be Jack Daniel's, so D for Daniel's. Glass E will be 1792 Single Barrel. Nice cork pop there. And finally, Glass F will be Old Forester Single Barrel, so of course F for Forester. Okay, got our glasses on the Drunken Susan. Let's go ahead and get them spun up, nice and mixed up. Not looking at the glasses, looking at you guys. Tell me about your day while I spin this stuff up. Is it going good? I hope so. All right, anyway, good enough. Let's get these things off. Okay, so glasses are ready. And I gotta say, I'm not real familiar with any of these bottles because they're just not bottles I go back to very regularly. They don't really pique my interest very often. So, I'll be curious to see how this blind turns out. No real favorites here, so not really searching for a profile that I think is the one I like best, or whatever the case. Anyway, let's get into glass 1. Here we go, down the hatch. Okay, here's what glass 1 is. Not real impressive. I don't imagine any of these really will be, but anyway, very mellow up front, kind of watery on the front of the palate. Get a little bit of sourness, a little bit of caramel, mid-palate. Really not a whole lot going on. It's kind of simple. A lot of sour oak note really on that. Now that was my first sip of the day, so maybe as we go back, that'll change. And then I got kind of a little bit of a funk on the back end. Maybe like a Jack Daniel's funk. Hard to say. It's early still. And that was first sip of the day. So let's go ahead and get to glass number 2. Okay, here's what glass number 2 is. And I would say that was more interesting than 1, but maybe not great. Now having that one compared to the first one, this feels actually more like the Jack Daniel's because I get that grape note that I usually get in Jack, and also got that kind of funky, earthy tone that I always kind of associate with Jack. Could be wrong. It could be the Old Forester because those can be kind of similar, although didn't really get a banana note. There's also kind of a lot of char on glass 2. Not as sour oak as glass 1, so that was nice. As it's sitting on my palate, it is getting a little more interesting, a little bit of a grape note. Yeah, it's okay, whatever. Let's go ahead and move along to glass number 3. Okay, so here's what glass number 3 is, and I would say so far that is my favorite. Very typical bourbon notes, but done in a pretty nice way. It is very mellow, but nice caramel note, nice brown sugar, pretty good cream, kind of vanilla note going on there. Decent toasty oak notes, no real sour oak showing up, so that's a plus. And also kind of a nice char on the finish, as well as the caramel kind of going on. So all in all, pretty good experience. Okay, let's move along to glass number 4. Okay, here's what glass number 4 is, and I can say with some measure of confidence that I'm pretty sure that is the the Old Forester, I should say, because, so that tells me I think this is definitely Jack now. Not sure on these, but pretty sure this is the Old Forester single barrel, and it's okay. Honestly, I think there's products from Brown-Forman that are cheaper, that are better. Got quite a bit of sourness on this, which I usually don't get in Old Forester products. A little bit of a sour oak, kind of a lemon thing going on. Still has that banana note, but it's like a unripe banana instead of a ripe kind of. I always think of Old Forester as being like banana bread, so like a very rich banana. This does not really have that going on. It's more youthy. Anyway, let's move along to glass number 5. Okay, here is glass number 5. Hope you're seeing that. That is the standout so far. Man, that was excellent compared to the rest of these. So far, I did enjoy this. This was not very good. This was just like drinkable, but not great. This was nice. This was just, again, kind of drinkable, but whatever. But this was something that I would actually enjoy drinking on the regular. I would be happy with that pour like any day of the week. So really nice mouthfeel, very viscous, especially compared to the rest of these. The rest of these so far have been very kind of watery. This was much fuller flavors, nice rich caramel, like a really nice like burnt toasted oak, charred oak notes going on there. Very deep brown sugar notes. I will say it's kind of simple in that it's just very typical bourbon. So, you know, you got your vanilla, the caramel, the brown sugar that I already mentioned, the cinnamon, just kind of middle of the road bourbon. But it does a a far better job so far than anything else on the table. So whatever that is excellent. I have some guesses. I'm guessing, just based on past experience with the bottles I own, that this is either McKenna or 1792 single barrel. I could be wrong. It could be the Blantons, you know, we'll see. Let's go ahead and get into glass number 6 and see what that has in store for us. Okay, so I am going to guess that this is the Blantons. Maybe? I don't know. I'm kind of getting that kind of orange creamsicle thing going on in a very light way that I associate with my bottle of Blantons. Now, remember, they're all single barrels, so yours may be totally different. But my Blanton's bottle is kind of that profile. So a lot of orange, kind of sweet orange, very vanilla, cream, light oaks, not a whole lot of charred oak at all. Minimal spice. Just very little heat. The finish just basically disappears. The palate is nice. So I would say right now it's probably between these 3 for what will be the winner, with, can't remember now, maybe this one also being in contention. We'll see. I will say on at least first go round, glass 1 wasn't impressive and glass 4 wasn't impressive, and anyway. So we're going to do some more blinds off camera, and then we'll be back with the results. Can Blantons win this one? We will find out in just a few minutes. Okay, folks, we are back, and we have all of our bourbons ranked. And I gotta say, that is a lot of bourbon to drink in a short amount of time, roughly 20-ish minutes. So that was fun. But now let's get to ranking. All right, so last place, here we go. We got F. And F is Old Forester Single Barrel. Okay, so I believe that is the first time that an Old Forester product, or really any Brown-Forman product, has finished last in a blind for me. So that's kind of interesting. And I think it's kind of the problem with single barrels is that what is being chased after is kind of middle of the road, appealed to the masses, the new bourbon drinker, very meh, boring, easy sipping, all that kind of stuff. And that's exactly what this was. Very light, not bold or deep flavors at all. It was very watery, very thin, not viscous at all. So that's our last place. Now though, moving on to fifth place. Fifth place we have D. D is Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. So both the Brown-Forman products finishing right at the bottom of our grouping here. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Similar problem to the Old Forester Single Barrel. Very watery. The grape note was fairly nice in this, but the rest of it was just boring. There's that typical funky note that I get on Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 in this, and I don't really care for it. And on top of it, it was just kind of watery and boring and kind of meh. So that was the bottom of our group. We're going to move these over here because they were significantly worse than what's coming up. All right, in our next grouping. So it was kind of like these two next and then these two. So what do we got in third and fourth? Fourth place. Fourth place, we got B. Uh-oh, you know what that means. It's horsey time. It's My Little Pony, your pony, the horsey bottle, the Blantons, the Taterade, whatever you want to call it. There it is. Blanton's coming in fourth, so doing slightly better than it did in the first round, which is when it went up against the final four of our best bourbons under $40, which I will link at the end of this video so you can check out that. And overall, I have to say, this round was less challenging for Blanton's because a lot of these were kind of boring. So the competition was easier for Blanton's, and still, it did not place real well. Coming in fourth. All right, so that's that. What is our third place? Third place is A. And A is Kentucky Spirit. I have to say, this is not my favorite Wild Turkey product, but still edged out Blanton's, although just barely, it should be said. These two were very close. As you can see, I just about emptied both glasses, trying to figure out how I would place these. And the Kentucky Spirit won out by just a small margin. I thought the finish on the Kentucky Spirit was a little nicer. Palate was not similar in profile, but similar in quality, I guess we'll say. And so, yeah, there you go. But, you know, just something to keep in mind, folks. Just remember that, okay, this is a pretty bottle. That's kind of a pretty bottle. This is an okay-looking bottle. What really matters is what's inside the bottle. And what's inside this bottle is kind of, it's whatever. All right, moving along. Moving along to other bottles that did far better. Actually, let's move these aside. Now, our winners, what really matters, the good stuff. What did well? Well, one's definitely 1792 and the other is McKenna. So what's what? I'm going to guess this is Henry McKenna 10-year single barrel and this is 1792 single barrel. Let's see if I am right. Here we go. What is this? C. C is in fact Henry McKenna single barrel 10-year. So it beat Blanton's by a pretty good margin, I must say. You know, this is a pretty good bottle. I wouldn't say it's exceptional. If you can get it around 30 to 40 bucks, certainly a buy, but wouldn't go much higher than that. Just gonna throw that out there. But now to our winner. 1792 single barrel. This was the standout. This is really like over here, then McKenna is here, and then The rest are just kind of whatever. There's some gaps there, but this was the standout for sure. This was significantly better than anything else on the table. Much better mouthfeel, much better experience on the whole palate, much deeper flavors, darker flavors, richer, very viscous, just super thick mouthfeel. The finish was by far the longest. So overall, there it is, folks. So we're gonna bring them back out here just for the final showdown here. So here's our lineup. There it is. That's how they placed. You know, it is what it is. So folks, if you enjoyed this blind tasting, if it's helped you in your shopping, if you thought to yourself, hey, maybe I don't need to chase Blanton so much anymore, perfect, because you don't. Also, if you did like it, if it was entertaining, fun to watch, all those good things, hit that like button so YouTube knows you like the thing. Lastly, folks, here's more reviews from us of other great whiskeys, and here's the subscribe button. And until next time, folks, just remember, you can never have too much good whiskey.